Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Wednesday, January 11th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Circle of Life Tarot. So we have start off with the Seven of Cups. It looks like the birth of Venus, the painting. So definitely take a look at that if you want to Google it. And, Seven of Cups for me is like, she has one sitting on her head, so it could also be like Libra symbol or the Ace of Cups, cup runneth over in that sense, because she is sitting in a river. But also it's just like manifestations, things that we want to bring into our life. So, when I see the statue head, I think of a partner. When I see the rubies and the coins, I think of better finances. When I see like the dragon and the snake, I think of fur babies, like pets that we want to bring into our life. So I feel like it's just like, whatever you manifest, I feel like is yours, and I definitely feel like with it sitting on top of her head here, definitely like she's the stem, could be like the Ace of Cups, like your cup runneth over. We have the Fool here. I love his hat. Sorry. Sonny. This dog is a diva. He must make his presence known. So I love his hat, and I feel like it's like I have a world of ideas. I have these imaginations or these manifestations, or these things I want to accomplish in life. We have the cat biting at his ankle here, though, so I feel like it's like, kind of like hesitant, you know what I mean, with the journey. It's like, should I start? Should I not? Maybe we're fearful, definitely with myself, it's fearful. You know what I mean? I just knowing what the climate is there anything out there? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to make a mistake again like I did with the mold and mouse house. So it's just like, me, it's that hesitation, you know what I mean? And then I had the wickedest migraine on Sunday. So it's just like, certain factors in there, and it's not making excuses. It's just, I could push myself and make myself worse, or sometimes it's just like, hey, you know what, have a seat. And I feel like this is like the universe kind of like saying, like, take a beat, you know what I mean? Like, you worked all, winter break, just chill, calm down. Your work is out on display. I feel like with this young fairy entity, feminine entity, she's painting. She's in the zone. I definitely resonate this when I would make custom dolls. And I would just get into the zone of like put music on and I would just create something. My kids do the same thing. And we have this helper here that's helping us string the beads. You know what I mean? So it's like cooperation, collaboration. We do have the Three of Cups here. But I feel like in this, it's like just being in that zone, Maybe this is a partnership, duality, and work. I feel like, he's more observing her, watching how she's in, like, she's in her groove. She's just, painting and creating and doing her thing here. So I feel like, when they talk about, positive, apprenticeship or, probation with a job, or a work of study. It's like you will be successful as it goes out. And I feel like it's just like people are in awe of that. You know what I mean? Like to see like your worth ethic and how you push forward and how you respond to certain things. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's just like it could be infectious. When they say that, what it takes one bad apple to ruin the bunch, because it's infectious. If you talk garbage, it's infectious, it'll bleed out to everybody else. If you're positive, it maybe change their point of view. Maybe they only saw it through that point of view. When you say that, it's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like, oh, that's actually true, so it could be infectious in that way. We go to the Three of Cups here. So he's in a meditated state. I feel like bat wings here. But, I feel like with the Three of Cups, it's like mind, body, soul, meditated states, grounding ourselves. I did a meditation on Sunday because I was just like, I was just like overthinking, and I clench my jaw when I sleep, and I know that gives me a headache. So I'm going to have to try and probably have to figure out that. But I feel like as we go to this crescent moon here, so we're coming out of the full moon energy, we're going to the waning crescent. I feel like a time of peace. We definitely get this yin-yang status of rebirth. The artistry of this is just amazing. This rebirth in our life. For some of us, this is actually a baby. For some of us, this is the rebirth in our life. Maybe we're talking about manifestation of an animal. Could be the baby that's supposed to be meant in your life is a fur baby. Could be a bird, could be a dog. I'm seeing dog. So, but it's like when we get to the point in life, just as like the Fool, it's like this rebirth in our life. Embrace the fire energy, bravery, courage, strength, resilience. They're saying don't take no for an answer. You know what I mean? Like it's like Jean. He's like you don't take no for an answer. Some people may say it as pushy, but it's just like, no, I don't like that answer. We're taught just to take no as an answer, and it's like, no, I don't like that answer. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to find another way. I'm going to ask someone else. It's like, it's like, you don't like that answer? Go ask someone else. Started off with the Seven of Cups. A woman dances at the mouth of a river. So the beginning of something. Behind her sits a goldfish who has its mouth open. The woman begins to wrap herself in a golden clothing as Chalice pours water back into the river. She wraps herself in to protect herself from the unknown. The fish behind her must make a decision whether it chooses to stay with the woman or die, or go back into the water to breathe. This card tells us to make life impacting decisions carefully. Make the right choice. Assess your needs. Bring them into alignment. Bring yourself into alignment. When you're in scattered energy like I was, overthinking, but it's just like I needed to ground myself, and I kept telling myself it's just like, can't do nothing about it. It is what it is. You can't bring it back. You can't change the situation. So, it does affect me, obviously. I'm an emotional creature. You see with all the water in this cards, it is an emotional situation, but it's just like find ways to ground yourself. It's like, when your personal life is going to crud, your work life is going great, That's how it always is. So the Fool card. A man dressed in brightly colored clothes stands at the edge of a cliff. He has a surprised look on his face. A cat bites his ankle. Will he stay on the ground or fall off? The adventure begins. So the way that I see this is like, when we go to the Wild Unknown tarot deck, they had the goslings sitting on the branch. Goslings don't go on branches and fly. They're on the ground. But anyway, it's like, take the leap. And if any faithful book, they tell you, either you will learn to fly or God will catch you. The universe will catch you. Whomever you believe in will catch you. So it's just like having that faith, but also having that courage. The Fool card tells us, leave behind all fear, worry, and doubt. Be courageous. Go out there and see, I feel like with the cat, it's like the universe's way of saying, let's go. Come on, let's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like you have these great ideas, and the universe has backed us. If you go back to last week's cards, it's like this is the perfect time to start something. This is the perfect time because we're coming on the 24th, and that will define the rest of the year. So let's sit there, with my thing, it's like, sit there and get that ball rolling. You know what I mean? Even if they give me an answer I don't like, it's like at least the universe sees that I'm trying, that I'm ready to do this. New beginnings, faith, pushing through despite your challenges. Yeah, pushing through. It's like they tell you, okay, we'll find another way. The universe will find another way. For the longest time, I sat there and applied at they had Skypes out here. They did Rogers, and I was trying to get in there. They wouldn't even look at me. And now I'm with this other place, and I'm just like, they took a chance on me. They saw, the my years of experience, and they took a chance. Was I the best? No, I was intimidated as hell because I was like, I did do a job that was data entry, but it wasn't just data entry. It was like with the binary, it was other levels to it, But it's just like, I'm almost there a year now, and it's just, you know what I mean? Even myself, it's even like I was so freaking scared. I was like, I hate tests, and I was just like, I didn't like that. But it's just like, I was just like, no. And they're just like, you know what? Sit down, do it, see what happens. That's all you can do. 2 fairies build a necklace of beads. 1 fairy strings the beads onto the cord. Other paint skins and bright color patterns. Some of the beads have wings and feet. It's time to learn a skill. The fairies on this card have practiced their painting and stringing from some time now. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the card specifically. The Enchanted Forest, where she was turning straw into gold bundles, and the more she did it, the better she got at it. And things in life seem tedious, you know, like when we're learning skills. You know, you think about a doctor, what he does. He knows exactly what he has to do. He's been trained and skilled in this, and he or she, them, they sit there, and it's like, okay, in their mind, they're like, okay, I got to make a decision here. Like they just sit there and they come up with their game plan. Got to make a decision here. I got to sit there and move this out of the way. I got to go there. When I get in there, I'm going to clamp. It's just, you know, it's like second. It's just like, you know, a sixth sense. They know exactly what they're doing. It's an art, you know. God forbid if this scenario happens, that scenario happens. It's like they're able to react because they've been trained. They know exactly what's going on. Okay, give me a moment to think. Boom, I know what to do. You know, it's just like nurses. You sit there, this. Okay, let me start, you know, okay, thank you for that. I'm going to start sitting there thinking about all the things that could be this. We're going to run some tests. We're going to sit there and start knocking all these things down, because they could sit there in their mind, in their training. It's tedious at first, but now the more training they get, okay, this. Okay, I think it's this. Okay, let's see. Let's run tests for this. Let's run tests for that. Because it's like somehow, some way, they will figure it out. You know what I mean? Because they keep doing it. As a healer, I was literally talking to one of my girlfriends about this. Trusting our intuition. It's like the shadow side sits there and it's like, you know, birds are messages from the universe, you know? But it's like, oh, well, you have a bird feeder out there, so that's why that bird's there. It's like, what? It's like, shut up. You know what I mean? Or like, it was the time of the year when all the insects should be, you know, in hibernation. My son was looking at the window and I'm like, what are you looking at? And he could see on the door frame a ladybug. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I grabbed it and I put it on his finger because he was the one that found it. And I'm like, what a beautiful omen. You know what I mean? And it's like, how can you sit there and take away from that? You know, so it's just like following your intuition, following your guides. They tell you dates. It's like, okay, no problem. I'm going to write that down. Write it down. Maybe something will happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it's the following year. You know? Anytime I sit there and I'm like, okay, these days have passed. Let me see if anything, my blessings. I always write down my blessings. And I'm like, you know, because sometimes you get so caught up in your shadow self, you forget how blessed you are. You know what I mean? It's just, that's why it's like, you know, this being a healer is tedious because, especially if you do dailies, if you do readings, if you sit there, but the more you do dailies, the better you get. The more you do readings, the potent more skills you get. Every reading is different. They're like snowflakes. They're unique to each person you read for. You know, it's like different senses start to come in. Maybe something that you've never experienced before with someone's reading, because that they trust you so much and the energy is just free flowing. You're able to see different things. So it's just like, keep going. Keep doing it. The message of this card is it takes time and patience to honor your skills. When you're done, some magic has been made. Honoring one's skill, discipline, skill. So honoring yourself. Yeah, you know what? When I started this, I was told I was full of poop. You know? And I'm like, that's fine. That's what you believe. You know? I told this one person, I said, there's someone wearing this. And they're like, they were thinking of two people. And I said, they're going to give you money for a down payment for the house. And you guys will buy a house. Sure enough, it happened. You know? But unfortunately, you know, free will. They did their thing and, you know, things take a turn for the bad. So with the Three of Cups, I feel mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. You know, I feel like this is a Zen moment. He's smoking from a hookah. So one person sits at the top of water creating waves with the fish that's swimming in. The celebration takes place in private under the sea of a waxing moon. The instrument the person holds is shaped and described the infinite wisdom and harmony of helping someone become happy. The challenge this person faces is longevity of the dance between his being able to keep playing and the fish being able to hold attention. His imagination ability To know the sounds his pipe and the water are resources he draws upon. This card says, when we create happiness for others, we are fulfilled. So this is very much reminiscent of like Christmas time. When we create happiness for others, we feel fulfilled. So it's just like, seeing someone open something that they wanted. Maybe they mentioned it once or maybe a long time ago. One day I will have XYZ. Like you see like certain people like Cardi B, the best thing and feeling in her life was that she was able to sit there and buy her mom a house. She always talks about that. The biggest thing she could have ever done was buy her mom a house. So it's just like she takes care of her mom. I'm sure she takes care of many others. You know what I mean? But that's the one person they were showing me is like, she was able to buy her mom a house. And it's like the biggest thank you could give your parents. It's just like, or doing something that's like paying off their mortgage or whatever you could do, giving them a vacation. It's like, thank you. Like, I know this can never thank you for what you've done for me, but here's a small gesture. This card says, when we create happiness for others, we are fulfilled. Friendship, celebration, enjoying the company of others. Definitely. I'll sit there and I'll hold my son's hand and we'll watch a show. Or, they'll lay on me. They'll lay on my shoulder. And it's like you can't, especially as teenagers, it's like, they usually are drawn to their dad. I'm sure they would hang out with their dad more and more because they were definitely before he unfortunately passed away. It's just like they were hanging out more and more with him. And I just said to myself, they needed me to nurture them. Now they're at the age where they're more self-sufficient and they can go do things with their dad more. Go play soccer in the backyard and kick my gnomes with the ball and break them. But we would plant seeds in the ground. I would sit there and I would dig it out. I'm like, come on, boys, plant seeds in the ground. And we would grow sunflowers and they love those kinds of things. We've been doing that for the longest time. We would grow peas. We try to grow pumpkins. Like we tried all different things, so it's just like things that, they would play video games with their dad, watch movies with them. We would all watch The Walking Dead as a family. So different things. It's like, even as teenagers, it's just like, yeah, they're lippy and everything, but it's just like, that kind of moment you can never get again, That's why I just snuggle the crap out of Sunny, poor dog. It's like, come here, you're my new baby. So the Ace of Wands. 2 babies rest inside the womb of a single egg. One is human and holds a seedling. The other is a bird. They are nestled together in a yin-yang shape. So I definitely got, when we had the Capricorn sun and the Cancer full moon there, it was a very emotional, intuitive time. Very sensitive. That's why they were telling us to be gentle with ourselves. Deborah Silverman said that the fixed signs would really go through it, through this retrograde. So, I meditated before and I was like, oh, I'm doing really good. And then boom, something that happened. It literally the day retrograde started, I meditated and that dream happened. I thought I would be okay, but it just kept coming up. You can't shake that when you can't have that kind of dream about a loved one and they tell you some information. You're just like, damn. You know what I mean? It's just, what can you do? How can one egg contain enough nutrients to sustain 3 life forms? Well, we have triplets. It happens. This the final size before they learn to hatch out from the egg. Growing children have figured out how to give each other as much space as they need while they continue to grow. This creativity helps them. This card seems to say that the seeds of creation require creativity to grow and mature. That's with my kids. It's just like their art. Oh my gosh. The art that they draw. My gosh. I even told that to Michael. I said, your gift has more meaning than anything because you took the time to be thoughtful of that person, decide you wanted to get them a present, and you sat there and thought of what they love and what they would enjoy. And he would take hours on one drawing. The details he would draw. He drew my sister a dragon from Game of Thrones. The scales and everything, the shading, it was just like, wow, the eyelashes on the dragon, He drew my youngest nephew, Tyler, the Predator, and he was doing his dreads and everything. And I was just like, and then he was doing his armor, the details of his armor. I was just like, damn, it's really good. And he does stop motion. He got inspired from his brother. His brother, he's a Sagittarius moon. So it's like the filmmaker. He's wanted to be a filmmaker since he was 2. So it's just like he got inspired from him. He wanted to do videos. So he's been, he's done so many channels differently, on one platform of YouTube. And it's like it inspired his brother to do the same thing. It inspires them to be more creative. Put your art on display. I said, what, Corey Keshin, Ali A, Mr. Beast. I'm just thinking of the people that they watch. I can't think of all of them. But I'm thankful for those kind of creators that, SML, it was I'm getting their names mixed up. Logan and his brother and their friends that made, it's, mature adult humor, but it's just like it gave them that space to sit there and get creative. They have plushies. They started getting into plushies and making their own videos and everything like that. So it inspired them. You know what I mean? And I told them, I said, do not delete your channel. And they're like, yeah, but we were young. I said, so? I'm like, there's going to be another you in this world. And God forbid they go through what you went through. That could sit there and be that peace and happiness they're searching for. So it's just like, leave those out there and you can inspire others. I'm now seeing a family that's very close to me and their children doing it. And I'm just like, wow, it's so cool to see that, It's like times like that, you wish you lived closer because I know they would be all tight. Because, especially with Lauren, they would all protect her. Poor girl. But it's just like, just to see his kids do it now and just like, wow, it's just amazing. It's like your kids are good at something and keep pushing them to do it. It's like, do that, because you love it and you're freaking phenomenal at it. Seeds of creation, fanning the fires of inspiration, I'm biased because my children are mine, and it's like, we all think that, our kids do amazing, things, but, me, I would not push my kids but I wouldn't sit there and encourage them to sit there and continue these things if I didn't think they were good at it. I even told my youngest, I'm like, you're fabulous and he keeps growing and getting more skills on how to do his stop motion and ideas, and it's just like, it's just funny and witty, they're saying. He is. So it's just like, they inspire each other. And that's the great thing. As they grow bigger, it's like they take the space for themselves, but they also come together. Hey, let's hang out and watch a movie. Hey, let's play a game together, So it's, it's fun to see those things. That's why it's great to inspire your children to do things. It's like, yeah, maybe they may grow out of it one day. Who knows? Maybe they may fall back on it. Their dad would write short stories. Jenner does it now. And I said, maybe you could sit there and do a short story book and have one of your dad's and one of yours. And I said, you could do something that he didn't have the courage to do. I guess he was afraid about the criticism. And you could do short stories with you and your dad. You can make your dad a published author, and fulfill one of his manifestations for him. You know what I mean? So it's just like, inspire them to do those things. Like I even told him, I'm like, he's got scripts, he's got books for, I think it's writing. I know he's got a couple books there that Shane had, and I kept them from them. I was like, they're on the bookshelf. And I'm like, anytime you want to read them, go have at it, It's like inspire them, fan those flames. So even with yourself, when we're talking about tediousness, when we're, with the 8 of Pentacles there, when I was saying like, sitting there doing a tedious job, but that you love it. Like I could have stopped doing this a year ago, and I'm like, no, even if one person watches the forecasts and projections, I'm happy. Even I'm excited to see what they say. What are the channel messages? What are the channel runes? They wanted me to do more things, but I'm like, it's becoming 2 hours now. Like, got to pump the brakes here. But it's just like, it's just, I love to hear the things that are said. I love to pull the cards. I'm like, what's going to come out? You know what I mean? Like, it's just that inspiration. What deck are they going to choose today? So it's excited to see, and I'm grateful for the ability that I have. But it's just like encouraging you. Whatever you feel is tedious, keep doing it. Even they were like highlighting for Instagram. They were saying this job that I was doing. Oh, you have the highest print count because you print one of the largest jobs. And I'm like, so? And I'm like, if anyone wants to print it, they're more than welcome to have at it. Oh, no, 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 that's not what we're saying. I'm like, well, it doesn't come back. It's never incorrect. It's packaged properly. So what's the gripe? Oh, no, no, nothing. And I'm like, if someone wants more numbers for printing, take it. No, no, that's not what we're saying. I'm like, well, good, leave me alone. You know, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm working. Leave me alone. You know, it's just people trying to plant those seeds in your head, like, oh, that's only because of X. It's only because of Y. You know, no. You sit there and just be, no, because I'm a badass. That's exactly what it is. I sit there, I come in, I do my work, I go home. You know, don't let anyone ever tell you any different. Don't let them try to sit there and diminish what you do. You know, oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, you could do X, Y, and Z too if you really wanted to. But no, it's easier for them to flap their mouth. Instead of putting their energy where their mouth is or putting their energy where their work is, it's like, you know, you could probably be 10 times better than me if you would work as much as you flap your mouth. But they don't want to do that. It's either them to chit, talking heads, I call them, you know? So inspire yourself, you know? I feel like that's what this Fool card is about. Inspire yourself. You know, especially if you've gone through, unfortunately, a breakup, a bereavement, a divorce, a separation, you know, whatever the situation is. It's like, you know what? Even though it scares us and we get anxious to think so far in the future, it's like, take it one day at a time. Be grateful for another day and kick the living poop out of it. You know? Just sit there and be like, yeah. Like, even with myself, with my brain grind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I try to get this done, and it took me hours just to complete one thing. Because my head was just a pounding. You know? So we went to this extreme cold temperature out of nowhere, and my head just couldn't handle it. You know? Meditation. I feel a lot better today. I still feel a little foggy, but I could feel myself getting back to normal, you know? So it's just like, take it easy with yourself. If you're feeling, that's why I feel like they were saying rest and rejuvenation before you pick up the sword again. Especially right now, if you're feeling off, just be like, okay, there's retrograde going on. You know, I just need to ground myself in some way. You know, hopefully you live in an area where you can take your shoes off and ground yourself, or even sit on the ground. If it's cold as an MF like it is here, it's just like, you know, do a meditation. You know, even they were showing like work it out with weights. Well, we have another storm coming, so I won't have to do that. I could just snow shovel. But it's just like, find ways to like get that energy out there if you feel like a buildup of energy, you know? So it's just like, you know, if it's tedious, keep doing it. You love it, do it. You're not hurting anybody, keep with it, you know? It will pay off. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, January the 11th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.